You have to fix our judiciary. I practice law all over the country. Missouri has one of the most expensive, inefficient, business unfriendly, and least accountable judiciaries in the country. And it's one of the chief reasons businesses give for not coming here or leaving here. We need to fix it, fix the way we select judges, we retain them, the standards they must meet, and we have to have tort reform, including loser pays. We have to bring the courts to heel. We have to get rid of the Missouri plan. We have to make judges accountable, because right now we have unaccountable judiciaries. One thing to have an independent judiciary. It's another thing to have an unaccountable judiciary. We have an unaccountable judiciary. We can fix the tone of the judiciary, and we have to. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Randles, if you are for real, you are like a cool breeze in you know where.
Well, I've never asked before, but I'll take it.
Was that a question?
Well, I have a question as well. When you talk about litigation, I'm all for that. But would that require an attorney general, a state attorney general that might kind of like be willing to do something?
It would help to have the right attorney general. I say to Republicans, I don't know who's going to run for attorney general yet, but we need to elect a good one, because I'm going to keep them busy. Because my agenda is going to be challenged like crazy, and we're going to constantly be fighting the federal government. Truth is, and I would sure hate for some poor Democrat to be constitutionally bound to defend what I'm doing against the federal government, as he would be. It would be just too hard on him. So let's I don't want to kill the person. But when you talk about litigation, we have to fix the court system, and we have to fix the incentives. I mean, you just have to.
Okay, let's talk about the court system for a little bit here and fixing it. The state legislature has the power to impeach. I don't even know if they know that they have that power. If they know that they have that power, they certainly don't have the backbone to exercise it. Okay, so as the governor, how do you drive that bus to get, I mean, you impeach a judge or two and you're going to see things turn around real fast on every level of the judiciary in this state.
You know, impeachment is a dire action. It's going to be very tough to get the legislature to do that. But let's talk about ourselves. We almost never turn a judge out in retention elections. I mean, we get to vote on that every few years, and we don't turn them out. Why? Because, number one, we're not given the information.
Right.
I practiced law for almost 20 years. Yeah, I'm sure it's this way over here, like it's Kansas City. Half your ballots retention most of the time. At least, maybe 2/3. I've known 2 judges, personally, that I voted on. I voted against both of them because they were dreadful. I'm an attorney. I tried to do research on judges. You can't find it out. What you'll find is, like the 2 judges I voted against, the Bar Association gave them the highest possible rating. These guys weren't qualified to fix a parking ticket. One was elevated to presiding judge of Jackson County. The other is now sitting on the Western District Court of Appeals. It's a good old boy system meant to cover up for each other. They're selected in the back room. It's a corrupt political deal. The evaluation process is a joke. The review process, the appellate process, is largely a joke in Missouri. They mostly cover for one. I'll give you an example, just from a common area of law. Family law. Do you know that never in Missouri history has a judge's award of attorney's fees to one side or another in a family law case been reversed? Ever. Almost nothing they do in that area, or wills, or juvenile law, is ever reversed. As a matter of fact, the appellate courts tell you they don't want to hear those cases. And they tend to punish you for bringing them up there. What we're going to do in Missouri, we're going to replace the Missouri plan with direct elections. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. We're going to bring sunlight. We're going to give judges actual standards they have to meet. Deadlines, frivolous lawsuit standards that they're supposed to dismiss, and we'll track them. Reversal rates, several other tangible categories. Then you're going to have that available to you online, and you're going to have it available to you in the voting booth when you go vote. Actual objective standards, not lawyers looking out for other lawyers. Likewise, we're going to fix many of the areas of law and pull discretion out. Family law, simple criminal matters, wills and trusts. Put them on tight deadlines, pull it out. We're going to change discovery standards in Missouri so it's not wide open, so the litigation is less expensive. We're going to go to a loser pays, which will discourage frivolous litigation. You have to fix the machine. Again, I keep talking about the machinery of government. If you don't fix it, you just replace people. Once the people change, you're still stuck with it. You know, in further answer to this question about the problem.
Give an example on when you're talking about removing discretion.
Yeah,
Could you give
I
an
will.
example
I sure
of
will.
what you're talking about there?
Let's talk about family law, which is one of the ways courts are most intrusive into people's lives.
Yes.
Essentially, if a court, I hope you're never in a situation with a divorce or with a juvenile or something, because here's what happened. Once the courts involve themselves in that area, they remain the final authority until, say, the child grows up. And so you have an ongoing monitoring of essentially a government official, which is all a judge is, being the final say in your personal business. So we're going to pull that out. So let's say in Missouri right now, the standard, if you file for a divorce in Missouri, a judge can't rule before 90 days expire. But there's no deadline when he has to. Almost all the criteria is vague and left up to his discretion. Said discretion almost never reviewed. Discretion essentially means it's up to him. It's almost standardless. We're going to go in Missouri to an almost contract system. Here's the deal. Here's how things will be split. Here is the default child custody rule, absent abuse or severe neglect. And there you go. He has to do that. If he departs from it, we'll track it. You'll see. And we'll pull them out of people's business. Same way with will. I mean, we'll change the rule in Missouri to where, you know, file for divorce, you must have a ruling in 90 days. Not, you can't before, but you must. Same way with a will. Wills won't drag on 2 or 3 years. You must rule in 90 days. Period. End of story. Here's the criteria. Put them on a deadline, put them on clear standards, and you'll see cases move through. You'll see a reduction in frivolous cases, and you'll see a much more responsible level of behavior. That's what you have to do, and you have to hold them accountable. You change the standards, and you have accountability you give the public. That's how you get there.